Sorry, so sorry. I'll give a second. So sorry. In the rush to start. Hello, everyone, to the Woke Baby Tent. Woo! My name is Chanel Gabriel, and I feel like we should just open this right in with a word from Madam Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by Leo Espinoza. The world belongs to us. In Brooklyn, in the summer, not so long ago, grown-ups always had some place to be or some kind of work to do, but the minute school ended, us kids were free as air, free as sun, free as summer, and kids are running around playing in the picture. And even before school ended, the street got so hot that someone always found a wrench to turn the hydrant on. And someone else found a soup can to scrape against the curb till the top and bottom were gone, and it wasn't a soup can anymore. It was a super shooter. And our mamas opened the windows and hollered, "Don't get your school clothes wet." And we see a hydrant. But we had to run through the water, book bags and all, because our teacher's final words had been, "Have a good summer." Our only plan on that last day of school was to take what they said seriously. In Brooklyn, in the summer, not so long ago, my mom would straighten my hair for school with a hot comb, then twist it into spiraling curls that she said should last a while. But they only lasted until I ran head first into the hydrant. And quick as that, my hair sprung back from straightened curls to natural curls because it was finally summer and hair too had a right to be free. And we see the big puff of curls. From the end of breakfast till the beginning of dinner, every single day, all summer long, we played in the street, shooting bottle caps we filled with tar across chalk-drawn Scully boards. Scully's a fun little game. We spun tops and learned to take turns and flicked our double Dutch ropes into blurs, singing, "Not last night, but the night before. A nickel and a pickle came knocking at my door." And we jumped, and we ran, and we played, and the whole wide world felt like it belonged to us. Look at all the kids playing. And some days we scraped our knees, but there was always an older kid nearby who'd say, "It's going to be all right," and might even tell us stories about being our age, about stitches and broken arms. And if someone said, "Boys don't cry," some big boy always said, "Oh yeah," and had a story about the time he cried and cried until our eyes grew wide, our hurt knees forgotten. They're sitting on the porch talking. There was always some kind of new fun. We built forts out of enormous boxes, then admired what we made together. We said, "You sure can draw, and you sure can build, and you sure can jump, and you sure can sing," and we meant it. In Brooklyn, in the summer not so long ago, it was easy to believe that anything was possible. When a guy from our block was good enough to play for the Mets, and a girl from our block sang on a big stage in Manhattan, and a woman someone's cousin knew wrote a whole book about Brooklyn, kind of like the author. And someone always had a ball and a stick to hit it with or a stoop to throw it against. And if they didn't, We found a soda can and played Steal the Bacon and Kick the Can. I played that too, and they're playing here. In Brooklyn in the summer, not so long ago, we learned to watch and listen, playing tag, Ringolevio, and hide and seek inside hallways, behind thin-limbed trees and garbage cans. And our block was the whole wide world, and the world belonged to us. Kids are playing. Afternoons, when we heard the beautiful sound of an ice cream truck, we yelled up to our mothers, "Can I have 50 cents for a cone with rainbow sprinkles?" And sometimes our mothers wrapped change into scarves and tossed them down to us. And our scarves of money held high became a parade of us kids chasing a truck with our own song. Wait, we want a cone. Then we shared with the friends with no money, because some days, the ones with no money were us. In Brooklyn, in the summer not so long ago, we didn't need doorbells or telephones, just two hands to cup around our mouths and a loud voice, loud enough to be heard. So we called out to each other in Spanish, in English, in Polish, in German, in Chinese, and we ruled the block in all of our language, playing and playing and playing until the dusk fell and the street lights came on. And one by one, our mothers raised their windows again, this time to call us home. So we said, "To be continued." We said, "You're still it." We said, "Don't forget, it was my turn." We said, "Wear your green t-shirt and I'll wear mine." We said, "What are you having for dinner? Maybe I can eat over tomorrow." And as our words echoed out over the block, like a lullaby we'd always remember, I ran up the stairs of my stoop, already excited about tomorrow, and the tomorrow after that, and the many tomorrows to come. Not just in Brooklyn, not just in the summer, but everywhere I'd ever go and always. This is The World Belonged to Us by Jacqueline Woodson. How is everyone feeling out there? So as you can see, we're here reading children's books for young people and older young people, right? And we have quite a few amazing people that are going to come before you. But to ground us all, to get us all set and going, we're actually going to have a little mini yoga session. There's a lovely organization in Brooklyn and company. She's like, I'm just going, yes. Paris is the co-owner of BK Yoga, a yoga place in Brooklyn, a yoga studio in Brooklyn that serves the community and that also believes that all people deserve to have wellness and to practice wellness. So I'm going to invite Paris to the stage.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Paris, and I'm co-founder of a BK Yoga Club. So to get started, I'm going to invite us all to stand. And if you're a little person, you can come over here if you want to come closer. That'd be so cool. We're just going to get ourselves warmed up a little bit. Hi, you can come right up here. We're just going to get ourselves warmed up a bit. And if you want, you can stand. Do you want to stand? That's okay. All right. So let's take a big breath. Take a big breath. Breathe in through your nose. And then let it out of your mouth. Good job. You do it again. Breathe through your nose. And let it out. Very good. All right, so I'm going to make my hands big. And as I make my hands bigger, you take a deep breath in and then let it out. Okay, so let's breathe in. And then let it out. How does that feel? Good? Okay, let's do it one more time. Breathe in. You want to use your hands? Let's do it together. No? Okay. You want to try with your hands? Breathe in. And let it out. So we're going to try some hand exercises. So if you ever want to maybe calm yourself down, we're going to take our hands, our fingers, and we're going to say, I am calm now. All right? Let's do it as a group. I am calm now. Very good. All right, again. I am calm now. What's another word we can trade? Peace? Okay, so let's say peace. Okay, we're working together. It's all good. Let's do it again. I am peaceful now. Let's do it again. I am peaceful now. All right, so let's try to say it quietly to ourselves. Let's first take a deep breath in. Breathe it in. Exhale. Very good. And let's say it to ourselves quietly, but still using our hands. I am peaceful. And let's go. And take another inhale. Breathe it in. Exhale, let it out. And let's use calm to ourselves. Good job. One more inhale. Breathe it in. Exhale. And we're going to reach our arms up. Very good. Shake your hands. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And then fold forward. And allow yourself to sway from side to side. Maybe look at your toes. Good job. Sway from side to side. And then roll it up. Reach the arms up again. And then open up to one side. Doesn't matter what side it is. Yes. Reach, reach, reach. Take a deep inhale. Breathe. Exhale. Reach the hands up. Come back to your center. To the middle. Good job. Wow. You're doing a great job back there. And then exhale. Open up on the other side. Yes. Inhale. Reaching up. And then let's fold forward again. Fold forward. Allow your head to hang, folding forward. Great job. Sway from side to side. And then slowly roll it up, roll it up, roll it up. We'll come back to stand. Okay, one more. Inhale, reaching up. And then bring your hands through to your heart center. Wow. All right, and let's do 2 breaths, okay? Take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Clap it up for yourselves, everyone. Great job. Great job. Thank you.
Everybody, another round of applause for Paris, who did an amazing job giving us tools that whenever we get upset, we get frustrated, we can say, I am calm. That's good for us adults too, okay? Because sometimes we get stressed out. So for those just joining us, we're actually doing a reading for young people. This is the Woke Baby Tent. So we'll be reading different books for kids, children's books. Just read something by Jacqueline Woodson. We're going to read some more. We have some amazing young people from the Black Girl Magic Fellows program that is led by Mahogany L. Brown, who would usually be here and host this because she has an amazing book called Woke Baby, which I'll be reading later. But we have I'm here going to hold it down for her, period, as the young folks say, okay? So we have some great readers for you who are going to be sharing some amazing titles. The thing that I really love about this era in children's books is that they're really, like the authors seem like they're really, really trying to capture the communities of people that might be reading their books. They're talking about different stories, and we're going to hear them all. So if you're with me, if you're ready for this book, say yeah. If you're really ready, say, oh yeah. All right, so now your first reader is actually the program director of the Black Girl Magic Fellowship. It's a writing collective of young people from Urban Word. Give it up, show some love for Soray. Feel free to grab a seat if you need to be. We have some folk on the side. Keep clapping until they get here.
Hi, everyone. Ooh, that was a little loud. How are we doing? We're doing good, good. Okay. So, the book that I am reading today is Nana Akua Goes to School by Tricia Elam Walker and April Harrison. Are we ready? Cool. All right. It's circle time, Zura's favorite time of the day. She scoots to a spot next to Theodore and crisscrosses her legs on the rainbow-shaped rug. Ready, set, Mr. Dawson says, looking at the children over his glasses. You bet, they respond, and quiet right down. Next Monday is a very important day. Mr. Dawson continues. Each of you will bring your grandparents to school so they can share what makes them special. Yay! Grandparents' Day, shouts Alejo without raising his hand. My abuelo is the best fisherman in the world, and he can explain how to catch the biggest fish. Bisu thrusts both hands up and says, my Mimi is the best dentist in the world. She can bring everyone a toothbrush. What does yours do? Theodore whispers to Zura. But Zura just shrugs. When Zura's papa brings her home from school, Nana Akua, her favorite person in the whole universe, is peeling potatoes for dinner. Although Nana's feet don't even reach the floor, she seems as tall as the giant playground slide. Maybe that's because she's filled to the brim with stories about growing up in West Africa, where people carve statues out of wood, trees drip with mangoes, and crayon-colored outdoor markets sell everything you can imagine. Nana puts down the peeler and gives Zura one of her big hugs, the kind that wrap you around like a sweater. Zura's mama knows about Grandparents' Day, too. Her smile is bright as a sunbeam. How about if Papa plays the djembe drums while Nana talks to your classmates, she suggests, coming over to help Nana. Zura frowns and thinks about the last time she and Nana went to the park. Nana pushed her high to the sky on the swings, and Zura was almost flying. But on their way home, a little boy pointed at Nana, and Zura heard him say to his mother, "That lady looks scary." And the very next day, a server in the little tea house stared so hard at Nana, she forgot to bring them sugar cookies with their tea. This is because Nana Akua looks different. When she was young, her parents followed an old African tradition. They put marks on her face to show which tribal family she belongs to and to represent beauty and confidence. Those marks never wash off and never go away. Zura looks at her Nana holding back tears that wait in the corners of her eyes. Nana Akua puts down her potato, takes Zura's hand and says, "My precious girl, why such a sad face?" It feels hard to explain, but Zura wants to try. She swallows and takes a deep breath. What if someone at school laughs at you or acts mean? She asks quietly. Nana Akua thinks for a moment. I have an idea, she says, and puts Zura's arms through hers. Together, they walk down the hall of Zura's room. Nana points to the bed. How about we bring your favorite quilt to class? These quilt patterns come from another long ago tradition. Even though they are not exactly the same as the marks on my face, they can help explain them. What do you think? Zura traces some of the designs she loves with her fingers. When Nana Akua first made the quilt for Zura, she explained that the patterns were Adinkra, symbols of the Akan people of Ghana. The symbols represent more than 50 important qualities like wisdom and creativity. Zura wishes the marks were only on the quilt and not on Nana Akura's face. Still, she says, okay, we can bring it. On Grandparents' Day, Zura wears one of her African dresses sewn by Nana. And Nana Akua looks especially regal in her bright patterned kaba with matching skirt and head wrap. There are lots of oohs and ahs when they arrive. The classroom is decorated with a rainbow of balloons that float up to the ceiling. There are large welcome signs made with colored markers. A tall chair is on the rug for the grandparents to sit in when they speak. First is Alejo's abuelo, who passes around photos of the biggest bluefish he ever caught. Next, Bisu's Mimi shows the class a video called Mr. Cavity and the Magic Toothbrush. And then Lester's grandparents, who owned a barbershop for many years, holds up matching clippers. Anybody need a haircut, they ask, laughing. Finally, it's Nana Akua's turn. She sits in the special grandparent chair with Zura next to her. Zura clutches her quilt tightly, and her voice shakes when she gives her introduction. This is my Nana Akua, and she is from Ghana, a country in West Africa. Nana Akua squeezes Zura's shoulder and starts talking. Hello, children. I'm sure you noticed the marks on my face. Has anyone seen anything like them before? No, say all the children. These marks were gifts from my parents who were happy and proud that I was born, she continues. I am likewise proud to wear them. Most Ghanaian parents don't celebrate in this way anymore, but it was once an important tradition. Zura watches, her eyes wide as cups, as Nana Akua walks slowly around the circle so everyone can see her face up close. It's interesting, she says, that in this country, I often notice people who put tattoos on their body that have special meanings. Yours are way better than tattoos, Theodore says, because they grew up with you. Nana Akua smiles. Why, thank you, young man, she says. And I brought some special makeup so that each of you can have beautiful African symbols on your faces too, the kind that wash off. My expert helper will hold up her quilt, which shows some symbols you can choose from. The other students look at Zura expectantly. She unfolds the quilt with care. Today, I'm going to choose the Besa Saka symbol. It looks like a flower. And my Nana told me it stands for power and unity. Nana Akua paints the symbol onto Zura's cheek in gold while Zura holds very still. The other children clap when it's all done. Come and choose your favorite symbol, Zura says to them. Can we clap? Like the children? Alejo, who wants to be a beatboxer, points to the Huemudua symbol because he thinks it looks like a keyboard. Nana Akua tells him it means high quality and excellence. Bisu wants to be a veterinarian and picks the Denkam symbol, which is shaped like a crocodile, one of her favorite animals. It stands for cleverness. Peter and Inez decide on the Adwo symbol, which looks like the inside of a sliced apple with two identical halves. Twins, like us, Peter says. Nana says the symbol means peace and quiet. Remember? Right, peace and quiet. Like mommy and daddy say, we never give them, Inez shouts. Nana Akua paints and paints until every child has their own design. The other grandparents choose symbols for themselves too. Zura's face glows as she watches Nana Akua fold up her quilt to go home. And this time, it's Zura who gives her very special, not like anyone else's Nana, one of those big hugs, the kind that wrap around you like a sweater. Thank you.
Another round of applause to Soray. That was such a good book, okay? We have quite a few friends that joined us. Feel free to grab a seat. We have a couple seats in the front. We can move this stack of books if anybody wants to sit. You can bring the strollers in, but we're gonna keep this reading going. All right, next, we have one of our Black Girl Magic fellows. Clap it up, show some love for Olu Watoyen. Because we love reading in here.
Thank you. Okay. I hope this isn't full. So today we're reading Kamala and Maya's Big Idea. You know what should be out there? Kamala asked her sister Maya. Us, said Maya. A slide, said Kamala. And a swing, Maya added. A playground, they shouted together. Kamala and Maya had an idea. It was a very good idea and a very big idea. They were going to need some help. Wouldn't it be great if there was a playground in the courtyard, Maya says? That does sound nice, Mommy agreed. How can we make that happen, Kamala asked. Well, I suppose the first step will be to ask the landlord, the person who owns the building. See, that's their mom, and that's Kamala and Maya. Oh, okay. So Kamala wrote a letter, and Maya drew a picture, and they went to see the landlord to discuss their idea. This is them writing and drawing. The landlord thought about it for less than a second. I don't think so. No. That was not the answer they wanted, but they weren't ready to give up. That night, the sisters tried to think of ways to turn a no into a yes. So here's them thinking and talking about it. They asked the other kids in the building if they wanted a playground in the courtyard. Did they? Of course they did, and they had ideas too. Let's have a teeter-totter, and a basketball hoop, and flowers. See, these are the kids talking. So Kamala wrote a longer letter, and they went to see the landlord together. Let's read the letter. Dear landlord, right now the courtyard of our building is empty and no one uses it. If there were swings, kids could fly high. If there was a sandbox, kids could build. If there was a slide, kids could go so far, so fast. Can you build it, please? And they drew on the bottom their slides and their swings. The landlord thought about it for less than 5 seconds. A project this big is expensive. We don't have the money for that. Do your parents know your hair? This was not the answer they wanted, but Kamala was not ready to give up. If we ask our parents and do it ourselves, can we fix up the courtyard? The landlord thought about that for a whole 10 seconds. Finally, he shrugged. If you can do it yourself, sure. This wasn't exactly the answer that they wanted, but it was a start. The kids all spoke to their parents about their ideas for the courtyard. They hung up posters and knocked on neighbors' doors. Here's them talking to their parents, and here's them putting up posters. But they got the same answers from everyone. I'm sorry. Wow, that is a big job. Wish I could help. Which they knew what they meant. No, no, and no. But then Mr. Green stopped to talk. I work construction and I could maybe get some scrap lumber and some sand for a sandbox. Really? Kamala said. Yes, exclaimed Maya. Okay, I'll try. It wasn't a yes, but right now maybe was the sweetest word that they heard. Maybe gave them hope. The next week, maybe turned into yes. The kids all helped measure, and Mr. Green cut the boards. Then they sanded and hammered and sanded some more. Then came the actual sand. So here's them helping and sanding in the actual sand. They were all thanking Mr. Green when Miss Lopez stopped to talk. I work at a garage. Maybe they have an extra tire for a teeter-totter. Another maybe. In the weeks that followed, lots of I don't knows turned into maybes and then yeses. No one could do everything, but everyone can do something. Kamala and Maya wanted everyone to celebrate the new playground, so they made another big poster inviting their neighbors to a potluck party. There were hot dogs and hummus, spicy chicken and potato salad, strawberries and brownies and lemonade. Miss Flores set up a sprinkler for the kids to run through. Mr. Green brought the music. So here's the table with all the food. Kamala admired the new playground, but she noticed that there was still one thing missing. No one knew how to make a slide, but Miss Flores knew where they might buy one. I teach at Emerson Academy Elementary, and they are redoing their playground. Maybe we can buy the old slide. This is a different kind of maybe. How can we afford that maybe? And now everyone's trying to find a way to turn that maybe into a yes. These brownies are delicious. Maybe we can have a bake sale. We can all bring toys and books and have a sidewalk sale. No one can do everything, but everyone can contribute something. So here's them in their sale. We have lemonade, we have clothes, we have brownies. When the slide arrived at last, Maya and Kamala got the first ride. The landlord was impressed. I want to shake your hand, girls, she said. You did a good job. You all did a good job. This is him shaking their hand. Kamala and Maya had an idea. It was a very good idea and a very big idea. And with a lot of help, they made it happen. Hooray for Kamala and Maya. Hooray for the Purr sisters. What's next, Kamala? Kamala, looking up, said, I'm wondering what the view is like from the roof. And this is them and their playground in flowers. And the book is called Kamala and Maya's Big Idea by Mina Harris.
Give another round of applause for Oluwatoyin. Oluwatoyin. I'm just trying to get the mic back up where it was. All right, so here we go. Angled. All right, so now we're gonna keep it moving. We have a few more minutes left. We want to get through these readings. So next we have coming to the stage reading, amazing book. I'm very excited for this. Clap it up for Ayana. And we have seats right up front. If any young people want to join us in the front and have a seat and get a little closer to the books.
So I'm like this.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. That's two things I admire about that book was that we all can't do everything by ourselves, but everybody could do everything. So I really love that about that book. And this book is called All Is Welcome. So it's about community. All are welcome. I'm gonna stand up for this, actually. I don't need a stool right now. Okay. Pencils sharpened in their case, bells are ringing, let's make haste. School's beginning, dreams to chase, all are welcome here. No matter how you start your day, what you wear, or when you play, or if you come from far away, all are welcomed here. Snap to that. All are welcomed here. Period. In our classroom, safe and sound, fears are lost and hope is found. Raise your hand, we'll go around. All are welcomed here. Gather now, let's all take part. We'll play music. We'll make art. Oh. We'll share stories from the heart, 'cause all are welcomed here. Time for lunch. What's a spread? A dozen different kinds of bread? Pass it around till everyone's fed. All are welcome here. Open doors. Rush outside. We will swing and we will slide. We'll have fun side by side, 'cause all are welcomed here. We're part of a community. Our strength is our diversity, a shelter from adversity. All are welcomed here. All are welcomed here. So much to learn, so much to do. And when the busy day is through, can't wait to come back and start anew. All are welcomed here. Head for home to get some rest and greet tomorrow ready and fresh. Our time together is the best. Can we say it together? All are welcome here. I love that. You have a place here. I got butterfingers, y'all, sorry. You have a space here. Oh, hold on. You are welcome here. That's great. Wait. It opens, it extends. Oh, that was it. All are welcome here by Alexandra Penfold. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Ayana. That was a really cool book, how it got bigger. I love it. All right, so next we have coming to the stage. I love it. Yes, be like me. Get in trouble for reading in the wrong times in class. That's what I did. All right, clap it up for the next reader. We have coming to the stage, Maya. Maya's reading one of my favorite books. I read books that are not just for kids, but for adults too. This is a good one. Are you using the chair?
Hi, everyone. Hi. I'm reading Sulwe by Lupita Nyong'o and illustrated by Vashti Harrison. Sulwe was born the color of midnight. She looked nothing like her family, not even a little, not even at all. Mama was the color of dawn, Baba the color of dusk, and Mitch, her sister, was the color of high noon. Hardly anyone at school looked like Sulwe either. People gave her sister Mitch pet names like Sunshine and Ray and Beauty. People gave Sulwe names like Blackie and Darky and Night. Sulwe felt hurt every time, so she hid away while her sister made lots of friends. Sulwe dreamed of being the same color as her sister. She wanted real friends too. So she got the biggest eraser she could find and tried to rub off a layer of her too of darkness. That hurt. She crept into Mama's room and helped herself to her makeup. Oh no, she would hear about this from Mama. Sulwe decided to work from the inside out and ate only the lightest and brightest of foods. With a stomach ache, she went to bed early and turned to God for a miracle. Dear Lord, why do I look like midnight when my mother looks like dawn? Please make me as fair as the parents I'm from. I want to be beautiful, not just to pretend. I want to have daylight. I want to have friends. If you hear me, my Lord, and would like to comply, may I wake up as bright as the sun in the sky. Amen. When Mama came in to wake her for school the next morning, Sulwe rose to find not a trace of daylight in her midnight skin. Sulwe told Mama everything. Mama asked, "What is your name?" "Sulwe," she muttered. "And what does it mean?" "Star," Sulwe whispered. Brightness is not in your skin, my love. Brightness is just who you are. As for beauty, Mama said, rubbing Sulwe's stomach the way she always did to comfort her, you are beautiful. Sulwe sighed. Well, you are beautiful to me, but you can't rely on what you look like to make you feel beautiful, my sweet. Real beauty comes from your mind and your heart. It begins with how you see yourself, not how others see you. Now up you get and out you go. How could she, as dark as she was, have brightness in her? How could she have beauty when no one but her mother seemed to see it? How could she be a star? That night, a shooting star appeared at Sulwe's window. "The night sent me," the star said. "Come with me." Sulwe hopped off onto the star, and off they went. Long ago, at the beginning of time, said the star, there was night and day, and they were sisters. They loved each other very much, but people didn't treat the sisters the same. People gave day pet names like lovely and nice and pretty. People gave night names like scary and bad and ugly. She felt hurt every time. Well, night got fed up and walked right off the earth. Day stayed behind and enjoyed making everybody happy in the sun. But then day grew too long. Day began to really miss her sister, and so did everybody else. There had to be a way to get her back. Day set off to find Night, and she did. "I miss you," said Day. "I miss you too," said Night. But you don't know what it's like to be treated badly for being dark." "You're right, I don't," Day replied. "But what do I know? Is what we need you just the way you are, so come and see." Night returned and the people rejoiced. "We need the darkest night to get the deepest rest. We need you so that we can grow and dream and keep our secrets to ourselves." The stars chimed in. "Brightness isn't just for daylight. Light comes in all colors, and some light can only be seen in the dark. While day had a golden glow with night, everything had a silver sheen, elegant and fine." Day told her sister, "When you are darkest is when you are most beautiful. It's when you are most you." Could it be that night did not need to change, not even a little, not even at all? Now that night and day were back together, a little bit of night returned to day in the form of shadows, and a little bit of day returned to night in the form of moonlight. They were inseparable from that moment on, and promised to celebrate the brightest in each other, whether people chose to see it or not. "You see," the star explained, "we need them both, on their sunniest day and their darkest night, and every shade in between. Together, they make the world we know light and dark, strong and beautiful." Sulwe rose the next morning beaming. There would be no hiding anymore. She belonged out in the world, dark and beautiful, bright and strong. And if she ever needed a reminder of her brightness, she could look up at the sky on the darkest night and see herself. Sulwe felt beautiful inside and out. This is Sulwe by Lupita Nyong'o.
Another round of applause for Maya. I love that book. I love that book so much. All right, so now we have somebody coming up for us to read a book. Thank you so much for joining us. Give a round of applause for Kathy Lynn Shee. How do I pronounce it? Che. Kathy Lynn Che. Give a round of applause for Kathy Lynn Che.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to read a book called The Ocean Calls. It is about a girl and her grandmother who's a Hanyeo. And in Korea, there's an island called Jeju off of the south of Korea. It's kind of like Hawaii of Korea. And from there, a lot of the grandmas are pearl divers. They dive in the ocean for pearls. So this is the story about that. The Ocean Calls. An Hanyeo mermaid story. By Tina Cho, illustrated by Jess X. Snow. Daeyeon and grandmother stretched and watched the sun's first rays kiss the sea. The ocean is calling to me today, said Grandma. I must dive. I want to be a Hanyeo like you, said Daeyeon. You're like a treasure-hunting mermaid. You can see Grandma and Daeyeon stretching at sunrise. But then Daeyeon remembered the time she jumped off the big rock last summer while visiting Grandma. Water had filled her ears and nose, burned her eyes, and stung her skin. And worse, the deep ocean where Grandma swam was full of sharks and other scary creatures. Daeyeon shivered. This is Daeyeon remembering last summer when she had gotten into the salt water and drowned, but she was okay. You can't grow into a mermaid if you don't finish your abalone porridge, said Grandma. Daeyeon held the shimmery blue abalone shell and rubbed her fingers over its holes. Grandma cleaned and boiled the shellfish from her catch to sell. But this porridge she saved just for Daeyeon. As Grandma washed the dishes, she and Daeyeon practiced holding their breath. 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, 16. Daeyeon let the air escape with a long sigh. Grandma squeezed Daeyeon's hand. Don't worry. I learned to be a Hanyeo from my mother, and now I would teach you. So here's grandmother and Daeyeon with the abalone shell, which is a kind of shiny, shimmery shell. And here's Grandma and Daeyeon talking while washing dishes. After breakfast, Grandma put on sunscreen, a diving suit, flippers, a lead belt, and a mask. Daeyeon put on sunscreen, a suit, flippers, goggles, and a snorkel. You can see they're both in their diving gear. And you can see it's sunrise at breakfast. Grandma carried her tools to pluck treasures from the sea. Daeyeon carried hers to pluck treasures from the shore. Together, they sang a Hanyeo song. I eat wind instead of rice, take the waves as my home. It's beautiful. You can see daybreak, and Grandma's going into the ocean while Daeyeon stays at the shore because she's scared of the water. On the sand, a Hanyo tromped, clumsy in her flippers, but as soon as they dove, splash, they swam like mermaids. Daeyeon sat back, feeling like a beached urchin. She wiggled her toes in the tide pool. Grandma popped out of the water, whistling as she let out her held-in breath. Again and again, the Hanyo dove and came back up for air. The sea breeze carried the sound of their whistling. You can see Daeyeon at the shore, sitting by with all the sea creatures, and Grandma carrying up a sea urchin into the air. Daeyeon climbed onto her lookout rock. A shell gleamed under the water. It's very beautiful. She's looking at the shell in the water, so she's thinking about getting it. She jumped in to grab it. As the water circled her waist, she shuddered and gasped. That's when Grandma's voice echoed in her head. She said, "Not to be afraid. The ocean is your home. Know the sea and find its gifts." Daeyeon looked around at the other girls giggling in the shallow water. She took a deep breath of hope and unclenched her fists. The waves rushed around her ears, but she relaxed when she felt the soft touch of the sea anemone at her fingertips. Maybe I could swim deeper. You could see when she's on the rock and she's slowly getting in, she's touching the anemone, she's getting deeper and deeper and deeper. After collecting 10 sea gifts, Daeyeon heard singing as the orange globes of the Hanyo's nets floated closer like a giant setting sun. Grandma, and the others swam back. Daeyeon rolled round the nets up the shore. "I found pretty pebbles and shells," said Daeyeon. "Beautiful," said Grandma. "Now, are you ready to dive with me?" You could see all the grandmas all along the shore who do the diving, and here's Daeyeon and her grandmother and a beautiful shell that she had grabbed. Daeyeon set her bucket on a flat rock and looked at the sea. She gulped. "What if I can't breathe? What if a shark comes? What if I can't escape?" Grandma sang, "Can't you hear what the waves are saying? They're calling to us to come home." Here's Daeyeon and grandmother and the waves in between and the birds in the air. Daeyeon looked into grandma's sweet eyes, swallowed her fear, and nodded. Side by side they walked. When Daeyeon could no longer feel the ocean bottom, she locked hands with grandma. "Take a deep breath, calm your mind, and then we'll dive." You can see they're getting into deeper water together. Down, down, Daeyeon and Grandma dove. But you can see they're starting to get into the water. Daeyeon swam right back up. You can see the fish, and she is scared, so she's going back into the air. Daeyeon whistled as she let out her breath. "Too quick," said Grandma. "Relax. Explore." Down, down, down they went. This time, Daeyeon held her breath longer. Seaweed swayed with the current. Colorful fish darted by. She pointed to a garden of sparkling treasures. Look how beautiful the underwater sea is. Suddenly, Grandma pulled her up, up, up. They both whistled. "Dolphins," Grandma pointed. "Dolphins bring hungry sharks." Daeyeon's heart beat faster. She kicked with all her might. What if they couldn't escape? Her arms felt like lead weights in Grandma's belt. You can see the dolphins all around. She swam to a nearby boat. A Hanyo waited to lift her to safety, and that's when Daeyeon remembered her wish. Daeyeon shivered in Grandma's warm embrace. We worked together to keep each other safe. You were brave, Daeyeon. You'll be a fine Hanyo someday. But Grandma, I didn't catch anything. Oh, but you did find a treasure. Grandma opened her hand and gave Daeyeon a sparkling turban shell. Daeyeon's thumb followed the curve of the shell spiral. She smiled. For the first time, she felt at home in the sea. Like a mermaid, like a true Hanyeo. The end. That is The Ocean Calls by Tina Choi, illustrated by Jess X. Snow. Thank you.
Everybody give another round of applause to Kathy for reading that lovely book. All right, we're winding down. This is a reading for young people, a children's reading of a reading of children's books by young people, children. We're children. I'm a child. All right, so I'm inviting Max up to the stage. Max Michael Jacob. Everybody give a round of applause. To my young people, so that is called an upright bass. An upright bass. That's a really big guitar, right? It's called an upright bass. And Max is amazing at playing. So I have to do this really quickly because I have to run over there. But I do want to share, I have to share Mahogany's book. She was not able to be here, but she asked me to read this really quick, beautiful book. Now, one fun thing is that sometimes we have books in our hands, but we can also put books on our phones. Ooh, not just for games. So I'm going to read this book really quickly, and Max is going to back me up with some music. The book is called Woke Baby, the name of this tent, by Mahogany L. Brown, illustrated by Theodore Taylor III. And we have some action in it, so maybe we can get some action going. Woke baby, up before the sun smiles, eyes open. Through eyes open. Look at your fists. Fists curled into a panther's paw, pointing up, stretching, reaching for justice. Look at each toe, wiggling hello to the sky. There is no glass ceiling. There is no one to tell you no. Wiggle your toes. Up, up, up on each knee, bent like half moons. Woke baby, you are an awakened dream. Here is your voice, loud and wailing. Here are your hands reaching for what's yours. Here are your eyes, bright, widened and bright. Woke baby, you stop for no one. You twist your own beat. You twist to your own beat. You babble songs of freedom. Like a good revolutionary, you never, ever sleep. Even when mommy wants you. Only rest until the next dawn. Thank you so much. And feel free to make sure you stop by the bookmark table. That's the Woke Baby bookmark table, where you can make bookmarks for your books and you can learn more about Woke Baby. That's a great book. So now I'm going to pass the host honor mic to my very own collaborator on this project. Please clap it up for Soray, who will be performing something alongside our instrumentalist, Max. Keep clapping till she gets here. Clap, 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 clap.
Hey. How are we feeling? Are we good? Checking in? Thumbs up if you're feeling good? Awesome. All right, so I am going to read a book called Show Way by Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by Hudson Talbot. All right. When Suni's great-grandma was 7, she was sold from the Virginia land to a plantation in South Carolina without her ma or pa, but with some muslin her ma had given her. And 2 needles she got from the big house, and thread dyed bright red with berries from the chocolate-cherry tree. In South Carolina, Big Mama raised Suni's great-grandma, raised most of the slave children on that large patch of land. At night, Big Mama told the children stories she'd tell in a whisper about children growing up and getting themselves free. And the children leaned in and listened real hard. Are we listening real hard? And in the daytime, when there was some few minutes for a slave to rest a bit, Big Mama taught Suni's great-grandma to sew colored thread into stars and moons and roads that slave children grew up and followed late in the night, a piece of quilt and the true moon leading them. Years passed. Big Mama moved on to the next world. And Suni's great-grandma grew up, jumped broom with a young man named Ensler, had herself a baby girl, and named that child Mathis May. Loved that baby up so, yes, she loved that baby up. And one day Mathis May would be Suni's grandma, but not for a long time yet. In the meantime, she learned to sew. Beautiful girl child learned to sew. When Mathis May was 7, she got sold away. Took a star from her mama's blanket, took a little piece of the road, pressed it to her face when she wanted to remember back home, held it to her heart to feel back home, got herself a piece of muslin and some thread somewhere and kept up her sewing. Sewed so fine she was making clothes for everyone in the big house and slaves too. And at night, she sewed stars and moons and roads, tiny patch pieces of stars and moons and roads. Slaves whispered what no one was allowed to say. That Mathis know how to make. A showway. Came to her when they needed to talk. Came to her for the stories of brave peoples. Came to her for the patch pieces just before they disappeared into the night. But Mathis May stayed on, grew tall and straight-boned, jumped broom with another slave. That slave was killed running off to the north side of the war months before he got to meet his baby, a girl child who was born free that same year, 1863. History went and lost her name. Wow. Years later, Suni came. Suni's mama held her up in the moonlit night, showed her the stars, the moon whispered into her ear, "That's a road, girl. That's a road." Loved that Suni up so, yes, she loved that Suni up. Suni and her mama stayed on the land. They'd always known picking cotton for a little pay and a piece of that ground to farm, called that land home. Stayed on with other people, none of them slaves anymore. Hard work making a life from pink day to blue-black night, but it was free life just the same. And when the day was finally over, wasn't hard to find a thing or two to smile about. At night, they cut and sewed strange lines and odd designs. People said about Suni, that child could find some beauty in so many things. When Suni was 7, she was tall and straight-boned like her mama. took in wash with her mama, sewed stars on patch pieces, sewed stars and moons and roads, sewed fields and rivers and trees, patched the pieces together for her mama to sell come market day. Called those quilts Trail to the North, called those quilts Slow Showway. Didn't much need that secret trail to the north anymore, but started living well off the money those quilts brought in. Sold those quilts to live, sold those quilts to remember, and though some could book read, most could not. Stars and moons and roads, picture reading was what they'd always known. Some mornings, Suni looked out over the fields of cotton and dreamed of a place to call her own. Married a man named Walter Scott, who owned a bit of land in Anderson, South Carolina, had herself a baby girl, named that girl child Georgiana. Loved that baby up so, yes, they loved that baby up. Georgiana, who grew tall and straight-boned and free, picking out words from her mama's Bible by 3. Reading by oil lamp light at age 5, people say about Georgiana, she always had a book in her hand, grew up to teach at a small school in Anderson, had herself 2 girls at once, named them Caroline and Anne, loved those babies up so yes, they loved those babies up. And Caroline and Anne grew up tall and straight-boned, turned 7, walking in a line to change the laws that kept black people and white people living separate. That's beautiful. They were a little bit scared sometimes, but pinned inside their dresses were showway patches Grandma Suni had given them, and something about those patches made Scared hang his mean old head and walk away. Anne grew up writing poems, and sometimes she made the poems into songs. Caroline stitched those songs into art that people bought to hang up on their walls. Anne had me, and Mama loved this baby up so, yes, she loved this baby up. And when I was 7, I didn't have to work in a field or walk in any freedom lines, but I still read like Georgiana and wrote like Anne. And when the words were slow in coming, I sewed stars and moons and roads into quilts and curtains and clothes because Mama said, all the stuff that happened before you were born is your own kind of showway. There's a road, girl, my mama said. There's a road. And I grew up tall and straight-boned, writing every day, and the words became books that told the stories of many people's showway. Had a baby and named that child Toshi Georgiana. Love that Toshi up, so yes, I love that Toshi up. So some mornings I start all over, holding tight to little Toshi. I whisper a story that came before her. Now Suni was your great-great-grandma, and when Suni's great-grandma was 7, that's it. That is the book. All right. Okay, so coming up next, we have Stephanie. Give it up for Stephanie. Stephanie is a Black Girl Magic Fellow. So give it up as she comes up to the stage. Whoop, whoop.
It's up to you. So totally up to you. You're really good at it. I'm at your service. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hi. This is Beauty Woke, written by Nonieka Ramos. I'll start with the words here. I really like these. From vibrant flags and dresses to do-rags and hoops of gold, Beauty has always felt beautiful and blessed with the love of her family, even when she learns that some words can hurt. Beauty's community is always there to remind her that no one can take away her power. Beauty sleeps, and the dark is where it starts. First there is one heart, then two. One day, something new, little conch shell ears to hear, watercolor words drawing near like estas palabras, sueño hecho realidad, dream made reality, love, hope, felicidad, happiness. But from La Doctora, the doctor, words of alarm, not even babies safe from harm, keep Beauty close, the world ain't woke, she said. They got spells, words that devour, they'll sentence her to sleep and take her power. So los padres, the parents, safety-proofed, had la espiritista bless every room. Finally, water breaks, Beauty wakes, light, arms, warmth, space, mama's face, bienvenida, welcome, que linda, how beautiful. She already turned her head, she is perfect. Beauty woke, Beauty slept, la familia, the family, checked Beauty's every breath. Un día, one day, Beauty spoke, palabras like song notes. Then, Beauty's first parade. Relatives showed up from Pelham Bay and White Plains. Hey, VX, hey. Wrapped in her flag, Beauty slept, crowned by the crowd, baby Borican. You see all the flags, the pride flag, the blacked out Puerto Rican flag. Soon she outgrew shoe after shoe. Time for Beauty to get schooled. Abuela came out the kitchen, said, "Stand up, nena. Listen, did you know your blood runs onyx gold?" Beauty shook her head. Now you've been told. Lay your hand on your head. Say Taino native. Say African. Lay your hand on your heart. Say Boricua. Abuela said, Beauty change, beauty grow, but stay onyx, stay gold. Beauty said, Si lo haré. Yes, I will. She felt as strong as the bull, like the hummingbird, beautiful. Until un día, one day, Beauty had nothing better to do. Sat with Theo to watch the news. Saw people that looked like family, but heard words that hurt like dangerous, dirty, lazy. She thought, are they talking about me? Her blood wasn't running onyx gold. It was running cold. Beauty's mood confused. Her heart bruising, black and blue. Beauty had to know the truth. She laced up her sneaks, threw her hair in a bun. While her familia prepped for the parade, Beauty went on the run. But no matter where she turned, the palabras cut, burned. Beauty ran home, drew the shades. Her heart ached. She fell asleep, didn't dream. Here it says illegal, ban, border, hate. El próximo día, the next day, was the parade. But Beauty threw shade. Where the do-rags of Puerto Rican flags her tia sewed? Yeah, no. Where her hoops of gold? What for? Dance bomba en plena. Que vergüenza. How embarrassing. La familia knew right then. Her Beauty's eyes were open, but she was sleepwalking. 911, mama yelled. Emergencia, emergency. Time to call in the whole familia. In a circle, La Familia stood with a bunch of vecinos, neighbors, from the hood. And La Bisabuela, the great-grandmother, needed no introduction. She was running this production. In Español and English, this is what La Bisabuela said. Escuchen, listen to me. Ain't nobody gonna school us on beauty. Word, La Familia nodded their heads. Spanish is magic, La Bisabuela said. Word, La Familia said. Amen. Black is beautiful. Black is a power. Say it. They said it. Say it again. They said it louder. Abuela said, let us lay our hands on beauty, bestow on her our blessings. Nena, you are a gift. You are everything. Cumple tu destino. Fulfill your destiny. After the laying on of hands, Beauty said, I think I understand. With each whisper, each palabra sagrada grew a seed. Beauty opened her eyes wide, thought, I can finally see. Under the ancestors' watchful eyes, the eternal circle of her tribe, linked with strength, not with chains, the blood of Borican running through her veins, lit with resistance, imagination, hope, rooted in truth. Beauty was woke. That's the end.
This one. All right, give another round of applause for Stephanie. That was a beautiful book. And coming up next is Jive Poetic, DJ Poet Extraordinaire. So please give it up as he comes up to the stage. All right, all right.
I've never done anything like this, but I'm willing to try it. You know, I'm for the people, you know. All right. Okay. Do I use the chair? I feel like that's a book reading thing to do, like use the chair. I feel like, yeah, do I look like I'm ready to read stories to children? All right. Because I'm very excited about this. All right. Well, I have The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats. I love this book too. This is the first book I ever read by myself. And it was so exciting because there was a kid in it who looked like me. And I was like, wow, I have that snowsuit and that face because I was black my whole life. So look, here's the book. I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna attempt to show pictures. This is incredible. This is translating everything. Yo, give it up for our interpreters too, please, everybody. Give it up for Max, please, everybody. Yo, give it up for the Schomburg, please, everybody. Give it up for the readers, how about it? Hey, and it never happens, but give it up for the sound team, keeping everything sounding crispy. Always get forgotten over there. So look, we have The Snowy Day. All right. How does it work? Do I go in and you go, or do? I don't know. Let's just do it. All right. All right. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he can see. See that? He's looking out the window. It's incredible because he has a window. I do not have one in my apartment. It's out of control. All right. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointing out. He walked with his toes pointing in. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks. And he found something, a stick, and he made tracks with it. It was a stick that was just right for smacking snow-covered trees. Down fell the snow, plop, right on Peter's head. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough. Not yet. So, he made a smiling snowman and made snow angels. He pretended he was a mountain climber. He climbed up a great, big, tall mountain, heaping mountain of snow, and slid all the way down. He picked up a handful of snow and another, and still another, packed it round and firm, put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. Then he went into his warm house. He told his mother all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. And then he thought and thought and thought about them. And before he went to bed, he looked in his pocket, but it was empty. The snowball wasn't there. Oh no, science. While he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted all the snow away. But when he woke up, his dream was gone, the snow was still everywhere, and new snow was falling. You see that? That's new snow. It's out of control. It just comes down of the sky like that. It's crazy. All right. After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall, and then they went out together into the deep, deep snow. And that's what the snow looks like, and they were outside in it. Hey, everybody, thanks for coming out this afternoon. Thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for sharing this moment. My name is Jive Poetic. On behalf of the Woke Baby Book Fair, I'd like to thank you all for sharing this time. Good afternoon, everybody. Peace. Thank you.
Hey everyone, did we enjoy our time listening to all the books? All right, so when I say urban, you say word, urban, urban. When I say urban, you say word, urban, urban. Awesome, that was good. So, wanna, say a little bit about Urban Word NYC as we close out. So Urban Word is a youth and poetry social justice nonprofit. And we have programs ranging from, we have the Youth Poet Laureate program. You might have heard about, some youth poet laureates in New York City. We have poetry workshops, for ages 13 to 19. So if you have a young person who's really into writing and interested in poetry at the intersection of social justice, or maybe just poetry in general, definitely get connected to Urban Word NYC. We also have the Black Girl Magic Fellowship, which is an incredible program. Come on, give it up for the fellows right here. An incredible program. I'm so honored to have been to witness them. So yeah, we're gonna close everything out. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing space with us. Yeah, just thank you. All right, bye everyone.